with the holonomic expression of this. And where does it begin? I mean, where does all this stuff begin? There we're going to have to get into Charles Darwin. In fact, I have a tendency to rush into it because I think it's such exciting stuff. But we're going to have to look into the very, very first appearance of the heart and the brain, because they make their very first appearance as a unit, as a paired twin effect of heart and brain, as a single self-system that forms in the neural tube, one of the very earliest formations in your mother's womb after conception takes place. Conception takes place, and immediately one of the very earliest things is this little grouping of cells forms called the neural tube. They call it the neural tube because the neural tube gives rise to all the neurons that are going to be located up here in the skull and form a brain. At the same time, the neural tube as itself morphs through very clearly, easy distinguishable stages into the heart. So the neural tube is giving rise to the brain up here in our head at the very time it's morphing into the shape of the heart itself. And our sense of self forms immediately with that neural tube. Self is as much a genetic part of our system as color of hair or eyes, or the fact we have 2 arms and legs ordinarily, and so on. So it's as much a part of the genetic system as anything else, our sense of self, which sets us apart, so far as we can tell, from the rest of the animal kingdom. The rest of the animal kingdom has remarkable consciousness, tremendous ability to respond instantly to signals from the heart, which we lose as mind-brain systems, but not animals. They retain that, but no sense of self in our sense of self. That's what that major difference sets us apart from the rest of the animal kingdom. But it's through that apartness that we're set that gives us, I'll get into later, because it opens up just huge things for us that are close to the animals, and why the evolutionary process brought us about out of that animal heritage with this new capacity which is found in the sense of self, which is first expressed in the neural tube. Now some of you probably know really all about this and can correct me on all my errors on it, but I've given a rough summary of it, of really how this thing works. And we end up with a self orienting toward mind or brain here, and the self which remains located in the heart. And so we have the heart as self and the brain as self, and their interaction doing what? Giving rise to each other. Now that, and this, we'll take a break in just a second, but that gets us into one final little part right here. Back in the 80s, a physicist from Indiana University, a guy by the name of Douglas Hofstadter. And some of you might be familiar with Hofstadter's remarkable work. It's now standard university text practically all over the world. And I guess I spent a couple of years trying to read that blasted thing. For some reason or other, he writes in a beautifully lucid fashion and makes everything very clear. But to follow his overall logic, I found a tremendous challenge until I realized that what Hofstadter was saying in this great book of his called Gödel, Escher, and Bach. He was dealing with the strange loops that science constantly runs across, the strange loop effect in science that science itself can't account for and tries to pretend doesn't exist. And this physicist turned out this huge, very, really complicated book to show that there was a strange loop between field and product of the field, between cause and effect. In my first book, Cracking the Cosmic Egg, I tried to explain this phenomena, arising primarily from my own experience. I'm a great believer in phenomenology. The only thing I really ever believe is what I have experienced. All the abstract nonsense I've been told about since I was born, that I'm supposed to believe in, but haven't been able to deal with, that's abstraction. But my own concrete phenomena, which I've lived through, that I know. And what he was getting around to in my book, Crack, following, I believe it's John Archibald Wheeler, the great physicist. Now, I'd stand to be corrected on that one, really. But he had come out with a comment looking at what's happening with astronomy and our knowledge of the stars and the cosmos and everything down to the tiniest little atom and everything. John Archibald Wheeler looked at all this and he says, it's just too much. He said, it seems that the human mind is a mirror of this whole universe. And boy, did I light on this when I finally came across that. I said, yes, the human mind is a mirror of a universe that mirrors the human mind. If you leave that part out of it, you're licked. No, the human mind mirrors a universe which mirrors the human mind. There are no one-way streets in creation or evolution. No one-way streets. And that was what this whole book, Gödel, Escher, and Bach, a very famous book, I'm sure Pulitzer and all the rest of it went with it. And still, in fact, today, more in use in universities than ever before. And what he used these, Gödel, the famous mathematician who showed that no mathematical proof could ever be completely sufficient. And Escher, how many of you have seen these strange pictures by Escher? I love them. And here you're looking at it and you see this waterfall. The only thing is you look at it again, the waterfall is going upside down. I mean, the stairway. Here are these people going down the stairway, but they're also at the same time ascending a stairway. How many of you are familiar with those? Escher turned out a whole batch of these, and he was, according to Hofstadter, Escher was trying to break through to us a tremendous secret that there are no one-way streets. We enter into the creation of every single phenomena we ever experience. We can't, the popular New Age thing of, oh, we each create our own reality. That's BS. We don't create our own reality, but we enter into that creation as an equal part of it. We enter into it.